I were playing the blues in all this other language. Sounds really silly.
Don't sound like an exercise. It's not music.
I was playing some variations on it, but I was using it.
Always play variations of your exercises. Many times, really many times, I've caught myself playing and it doesn't sound like music at all. When listening back to myself, or in my head just listening back to what I just played and sounding like an exercise, it's just awful. Great players, experts and teachers are always telling this. To be able to play this, you need to practice this. But what's the real connection between exercise and music? So feeling a little bit lost between playing exercise and playing real music is totally normal and is totally understandable.
And also setting up certain exercises for myself.
Because all great players play exercises. So in this video I'll look into why we are playing exercises. Because it's not the exercise, it's how we play the exercise. What is the real purpose of the exercise you play? And this is important.
But if you don't really know where to put it, then it's just by itself, it doesn't mean anything.
All the training we do is only about how we apply it into our solos. And then it's very much about how we get to sound as musical as possible when we're connecting the exercises into the actual music we're playing. The first phrase I played for you is basically just the arpeggios going down the scale. And it totally sounds like the exercise I played earlier, which is truly the exercise of 7th chords going down the scale. And if you play like this, you sound like an exercise and you really do not want that. And of course I did that little bebop phrase, but that's the only thing that fell outside the exercise.
Sounds really silly.
And these 7th chords make the phrase sound a little bit silly, what he said. But follow me on this exercise anyways. Play along with me. Even Brecker said it.
You used to do a lot of arpeggios. I'd figure out a series of notes.
And when Brecker said it, we must play arpeggios. So training arpeggio is a huge must in your solos and in your training. So how do we apply it into music? You see that I'm using the arpeggios. But when you're using arpeggios, don't use all the arpeggios at once. Just because you trained them doesn't mean you have to use them all. So in this phase, I actually only played 2 arpeggios and it sounds great. When I'm thinking about this line, I really try to stay away from the arpeggios, that the line doesn't become an exercise. In between, I just play a few scale runs and make lots of rests. So this is where we start, using the basics to get beautiful lines. So let's say we have trained these arpeggios. When you're making the licks or your phrases, just use 1 arpeggio, maybe 2. Because we really need to understand that the exercise is not a solo yet. But when we mix the arpeggios with the other stuff we had, like scales, enclosures and chromatics, we really get beautiful musical lines. This line is the same as before. I took the same arpeggios and then I just added scales, enclosures and chromatics. So you see what's making the line is the difference between the arpeggios and the other stuff I'm putting in. And really, it doesn't sound like an exercise. You're very welcome to check out all the extras on Patreon. The full lesson is transcribed and there's lots of extras for all instruments in all keys. Grab the PDF, the link to Patreon is down below in the description. Years back I intended till now my one and only Chris Potter workshop. At some point Chris Potter was talking about influences and one of his influences is Coltrane, of course. And he started playing just like Coltrane. One question came up. Did you ever practice 1, 2, 3, 5 patterns or Coltrane patterns? Chris Potter said, no, I don't think so. And then he started playing these 1, 2, 3, 5 patterns. If I should practice this, I would probably do it like this, he said. So he mixed up the whole thing and turned it around and made really a musical thing out of a simple exercise. He made it really musically interesting. So what Chris Potter did was asking us a question. Why not play everything and make it sound like music? So if we're looking back at the arpeggio pattern and turn it into a musical rhythmical pattern, so I maxed out the rhythm because I really want a more musical sound. I want to challenge myself. I want to get some extra out of just the arpeggios. So to play patterns, play any pattern or any structure like this, adding tons of rhythm to it, adding musicality is really, really difficult the first 10 times. Believe me, when you get used to playing like this, just adding rhythm, just adding musicality, this becomes the normal and you will always have the sound of music.
The sound of music.
When you play your exercises musically, your lines start sounding like this because how you practice is how you play. I slightly dipped into how I'm making these lines. I'll go a little bit deeper now. So I'm starting out with taking one arpeggio, maybe two arpeggios, building around those. So starting with these two arpeggios, and then I make a rest because I want to listen to how I sound, how this arpeggio sounds, what is the impact. So two arpeggios does it, and a bit of scale and some rests. This phrase is a bit more full. But the principles are really the same. I think of what did I exercise, I start by adding that. Then I fill in enclosures, a Charlie Parker phrase, and a bit of chromatics. Let's try this with a new exercise, thirds in the scale. Why should I question this? Every teacher in the world tells us you should practice thirds in the scale. But did they tell you why you should practice thirds in the scale? Here's why. It's a great technical exercise. All thirds are great at connecting lines, and thirds are the perfect enclosure to the tone following. Connecting lines. When switching out a scale line with thirds in the scale, the line just comes much more kapow. It just sounds better, I think. Another great reason you should practice thirds are enclosures. All third intervals are an enclosure of the following tone. Just listen to this line. If you rush into playing thirds over the 2-5-1s here, it sounds like an exercise.
Not to sound like an exercise.
And you really do not want to sound like an exercise. So remember, when taking any exercise, putting it into your music, make it musical. Don't add all the thirds at once. Take one at a time or a little phrase at a time. Just work on some kind of angle of your exercise and use this as a stepping board towards the next step. The most important thing is make it musical. Let's look into how this phrase is made. I add the thirds there halfway first bar. Make a rest and then let it sink in. Then I basically just continue to the finish. It's really simple like this. When you're adding these technical concepts into your playing, work slowly, take your time, think of how you can make it more musical. Again in this line, I'm taking my time. I'm not spamming these thirds all over the place. I'm using them very limited and very controlled. Again you see that I'm using rests in the line, and these rests help me to stop and focus and think of the next line. Exercise is not for the exercise. Exercise is a purpose. The purpose of the exercise is playing music. I really recommend you to go to Patreon and download the PDF for this lesson. There are so many musical exercises. How you can take an exercise, how you can tweak it, how you can make it into licks and phrases. In the PDF I guide you towards this system. So playing an exercise, making it musical, adding it directly into your playing. Get the PDF on Patreon. The link to Patreon is just below in the description. Move further now and check out this video on how Chris Potter never ever plays anything that's not musical. Play music. Have fun.